still the three of us, so it's still the same kind of Nirvana songwriting, but it's a lot more spontaneous, and it has a lot, the energy is real, and there's no studio trickery, and there's really no outboard effects or anything to make it other than the sounds of the instruments. And so, I mean, the way Steve Albini records, he just sort of throws up mics and records. So.
What are you the producer for then?
Well, because he knows how to get room sounds. Like, his drum sound is sort of infamous, and so that was one of the main factors in getting him. And plus, he just doesn't, he's not willing to cooperate with any sort of like big business, you know, back padding or whatever. He just sort of records a band, and he refused to talk to our management, and he refused to talk to our label when we recorded. He said, "You guys want me to record you? You pay me, I'll record you. I hand you the tapes, and then that's it." And so that's basically what it was.
It's a real mixed bag of songs, like, you know, some really fast rockers, couple stompers, and there's a couple of really mellow, nice songs, cello embellishment on there, you know.
You happy with it?
Yeah, I'm really happy and really proud of that record. I think it's the best record we could have made.
Stations in the States got a hold of our new album, but it was like someone had anonymously sent them like 5th generation cassette copies of our new album, and in order for them to play it, they started on the weekend at 5 o'clock, like on Friday nights. That way they could play it throughout the rest of the weekend without having a council, you know, sue them. And oh, that's kind of smart, you know.
Great publicity for you anyway. Ultimately, the album's going to come out.
That's true, but the thing is that there's been so much controversy about how bad the record sounds, you know, and how lo-fi it is. And to hear it like that compared to all the other songs that were on the radio that night, it really disgusted me, and it pissed me off because it sounded terrible. It sounded really, really bad. And then everyone that heard it that weekend is going to say, yeah, you're right. Okay, the stories are true. The Nirvana album really sucks, and I'm not going to buy it, you know, so it just kind of bothered me, but we took care of it.
What'd you do?
Well, I thought maybe we should hire a lawyer to stop them to do it, and then instead I just decided to hire Hitman.
Pardon me?
Nothing. Erase that.
Nirvana's done pretty well in the past few years, and I wonder if it's true that money can't buy happiness.
Well, yeah, you can't buy happiness. I mean, that made me happy for a little while. But, I mean, I was just probably almost just as happy with, you know, I don't know, I look back on going to secondhand stores and stuff like that and finding a little treasure like that. And that actually meant more to me because it was more of a stab in the dark in a way, you know, because you didn't know if you're going to be able to afford it, and you don't know what you're really looking for, and when you find it, it's more special to you rather than, you know, having $1,000 and going into a store like that and just buying the whole store, you know. It's not as, you know, it's not as special.
It just depends, you know, what makes you happy. Money can buy you comfort, but emotional comfort, I mean, I'm just lucky that I have friends and family that I love and respect, and I'm really happy to be in the band and to work with Kurt and Dave, and you know, that's like one of the old, that's like a real philosophical, I mean, arguing point, you know. I mean, if you want to go out and buy some Porsche or something, you're happy with it, that's fine, but some people aren't happy. I'm happy with a 1971 Volkswagen Fastback, you know what I mean? That's what I bought. And it's taken a lot of pressure off us. You know, we used to live in these just tiny apartments, pay like $200 a month rent, and then just squeeze by every month. And I'm lucky that my wife worked. She made sandwiches at Boeing, and, you know, and I'd bring home, I think my part of the deal was to pay the $200 rent, like to say that I'm paying rent here. That was my role, you know. But I mean, she carried me.
Grape by grape by grape, every single grape on the plate. Then I go to the oranges. There are 5 oranges. No, there are 6. They're being hidden by the grapes. Then I'll eat every grape. Then there is the kiwis. There is only 4 kiwis because they're so precious. It's a fruit you don't find everywhere. Then I go to the brie. The brie, there is 3 slices, half of which I've eaten one. And then I go to the bread. And the bread, this is the soft bread. This is the Melba toast. And this is the wheat bread. And then I shall drink every spa canister on this table. Not only that, but the Royal Club Light. But I don't like Pepsi. I drink Coke. And there's ice. Ice. Ice for everyone. You don't find ice in Holland. I love my ice. Then I'll drink the beer. But no, I'll share the beer. And I'll share the wine. Would you like to have a glass of wine? I would love to have your wine. Oh, the potato chips. I will eat the chips. There are 3 flavors. I'll eat them all. And a box of juice. Would you like some? Your juice is doing something for me. I want to shake the juice till it bursts. Oh, yes. I love your juice. I love your juice.
Think your marriage is going to ground you?
I hope so. Maybe eventually. I mean, it's not going to stop me from playing music, I know that. But, yeah, it might be.
You're getting all misty-eyed. Look at this.
Well, now I'm looking at the beautiful gray skies and thinking, oh, my wife's at home, my fiancé is at home. I think the fact that we never intended to anything like this, you know, we didn't expect anything, and I think that if you got your heart set on being a rock star and you become a rock star, you're a great rock star. You know, you live in a mansion and you marry a model and you're an asshole, you know, and a lot of cases that's true. If you don't really want to, you know, be in some huge band and things get really crazy, I mean, things get crazy, but it's not really that big of a deal. All it is that there's a lot of attention put on you, and I think in a lot of people's cases it just sort of blows up your head and it makes you feel, you know, like you're really great. And you don't take it as flattering, you just sort of expect that. And so I think the 3 of us still think it's pretty strange that people find us, you know, special. And I think it's flattering. I think it's really great. I don't fully understand it, but we're still, you know, the same 3 people that we were then.
This sounds like the closing of the chapter of the formula we've been using, you know. It's like grunge is really kind of boring for us, you know. It's something we can't deny, and we're not going to stop playing the old songs live. Whoops. And, but, you know, our tastes are just changing so rapidly that we're really experimenting with a lot of stuff, and it might get too indulgent and be really embarrassing for the next album, but we can't put out another album, and this is just like the last chapter of 3-chord grunge music for us.
I can sit here and say that I'll do this for a few more years and then have a normal life. But I know that in 10 years, sure, I'll miss it, you know. There's a lot of things about this that I'll miss. There's a lot of things about it that I'll be glad I don't have to deal with anymore.
What are you going to miss?
I'll miss being on stage with Chris and Kurt, you know, and some of the insane shit that happens when we play. Stuff like that, you know. The good little moments here and there.
Chris and Dave and I haven't changed at all. I mean, believe it or not, we get along just as well as we ever did. You know, we're just as the same passive-aggressive people as we used to be. You know, we never fight. You know, we're pissed off at each other. We just hold it under our breath and have respect for one another in that way. You know, it's easier to work that way. You know, because we have a mission, I guess. What else should I be?